Listen carefully. This is not about charm, not about tricks. This is about power, respect, and self-discipline. A man who fails in these 6 areas will lose her trust, her loyalty, and her admiration. And once you lose that, you lose everything. First, never disrespect her boundaries. The moment you push past her limits, you reveal weakness. Boundaries are not walls, they are tests. Fail the test and you show you can't be trusted. A man who respects limits proves his strength without needing to force it. Second, never undervalue her intelligence. Do not mistake kindness for ignorance. Do not confuse silence for weakness. The fastest way to lose respect is to act like you are smarter. Arrogance exposes insecurity. Real men recognize brilliance in others. Third, never make her feel small. Any man can tear down. Few men have the strength to build. If you need to belittle a woman to feel powerful, you are not a man. You are a boy. Greatness is measured by the ability to elevate those around you. Fourth, never play games with her time or emotions. Games are for children. Manipulation is the tool of the weak. If you waste her time, if you toy with her heart, you are declaring yourself unreliable. And no woman follows a man she cannot trust. Fifth, never compare her to other women. Comparison destroys connection. The moment you do it, you kill uniqueness. Every woman knows when you're measuring her against someone else. And once she knows, you've lost something you'll never get back, her respect. Sixth, never fail to lead yourself first. Control yourself. Discipline yourself. A man without command over his own actions, his own mind, his own habits, cannot lead anyone. Leadership begins with self-mastery. Only then can a woman truly respect your presence. Remember this, respect is not permanent. It must be earned every day. If you are careless, if you slip, you lose it, and when it's gone, it doesn't come back. So stand tall, lead yourself, value her mind, protect her respect, because a true man does not demand loyalty, he inspires it. Never disrespect her boundaries. The moment you cross that line, you lose something you may never get back, or trust. Boundaries are not obstacles. They are not barriers to be broken. They are standards. They are signals that say, this is who I am. This is what I will accept. This is what I will not tolerate. When a man ignores them, he exposes himself, not as strong, but as weak. Because only a weak man needs to push against what a woman clearly defines. A man of strength does not fear limits. He respects them. He understands that when a woman sets boundaries, she is not trying to control him. She is showing him how she values herself. And how you respond to that is everything. If you honor it, you rise in her eyes. If you disrespect it, you fall instantly. Think about it. A woman who knows her worth will always test you, not with games, but with standards. She watches how you handle them. Do you pressure her when she says no? Do you try to convince her when she is not ready? Do you act entitled to what she does not freely give? Every time you cross a line she has drawn, you reveal desperation. You show that you lack self-control. You show that you cannot be trusted. And trust, once lost, does not return. Real power is not about forcing your way in. Real power is standing still, strong enough to let things come naturally. The man who does not push, who does not beg, who does not need to manipulate, that man commands respect. Because he operates from discipline, not from impulse. He knows that boundaries are not meant to break him, they are meant to measure him. And here's the truth. When you respect a woman's boundaries, you elevate yourself above every man who didn't. She will remember the ones who pressured her, who ignored her, who made her feel unsafe. But she will respect the man who stayed composed, patient, and secure enough not to violate her lines. That man is unforgettable. Disrespecting boundaries is the clearest sign of insecurity. Only men who lack control cross them. They think pushing harder makes them stronger. It doesn't. It makes them predictable. A man who can't hear the word no without falling apart, without pushing back, without trying to force his way, is a man with no backbone. And no woman wants to stand beside a man who cannot even control himself. Respecting boundaries is not weakness. It is strength. It requires patience, discipline, and confidence. It takes a strong man to hear no and not crumble. It takes power to accept limits and still move forward with self-respect intact. You see, when a man disrespects boundaries, he is telling the world that he cannot respect himself. Because self-respect and respect for others are one and the same. If you cannot honor what someone else values, you show that you have no values of your own. And a man without values is dangerous, not powerful. Women are not impressed by how fast you move. They are not impressed by how much you push. They are impressed by restraint, by control, by patience. A man who does not rush. A man who does not force. A man who listens when she speaks, who backs off when she says, stop. Who pays attention when she draws the line. That man holds power. Because his strength is not in aggression, it is in composure. Understand this. Boundaries are not walls meant to shut you out. They are doors. And the only way they open is through respect. The man who understands this gains access that no force can achieve. The man who disrespects it slams the door on himself forever. Never disrespect her boundaries, because once you do, the relationship changes instantly. She may smile. She may forgive. She may even move forward. But something deep inside has shifted. The respect she had for you is not the same. And without respect, love is fragile. Without respect, trust is gone. Without respect, everything crumbles. So discipline yourself. Control your impulses. Honor the lines she draws, because those lines are not there to limit you. They are there to protect her. And if you can't protect what she values, you cannot protect her. If you cannot respect her boundaries, you cannot expect her loyalty. Remember this, a man's strength is not proven by how much he takes. It is proven by how much he can control himself. The man who honors boundaries is rare. The man who honors boundaries is powerful. And the man who honors boundaries will always stand out in a world full of men who don't. Never undervalue her intelligence. The fastest way to lose respect is to act like you are smarter than her. Never forget this. Every woman is always watching. Always reading between the lines, always sensing what you think of her. She may not say it. She may not call you out. But the moment you treat her like she is less, like she cannot think for herself, like her opinions do not matter, you have lost something you cannot buy back, her respect. A woman's intelligence is not always loud. Sometimes it is silent. Sometimes it comes in the way she observes, the way she listens, the way she remembers. Do not mistake that silence for weakness. Do not assume that because she isn't speaking, she isn't thinking. The truth is, she is calculating. She is watching what you reveal without realizing it. And if you underestimate her mind, she will see it, and she will never forget it. Arrogance exposes weakness. When a man feels the need to belittle, to dismiss, to outsmart, what he is really doing is hiding. A secure man doesn't need to prove he is smarter. He doesn't need to dominate every conversation. He doesn't need to cut her down to feel tall. A secure man respects her intelligence, invites her perspective, and knows that recognizing her wisdom does not take away from his own. It adds to it. Think of the men who undervalue women's intelligence. They talk over them. They dismiss their insights. They make jokes that cut down instead of lift up. They think this shows power, but it shows the opposite. It shows insecurity, because only a man who doubts himself tries to silence someone else. Only a man who fears his own lack of depth tries to overshadow another's mind. A strong man does not compete with a woman's intelligence. He respects it. He learns from it. He knows that a sharp mind is not a threat. It is an advantage. If you want a woman to stand beside you, to admire you, to respect you, you must first show her that you respect what she brings to the table. Dismiss her, and you dismiss yourself, because no woman will give her heart to a man who looks down on her mind. Never undervalue her intelligence, because she knows when you do. A woman's intuition is sharper than most men can imagine. She senses tone, body language, the way your eyes move, the way you listen or don't listen. She knows when you are pretending. She knows when you are patronizing. She knows when you think less of her, even if you never say it. And once she knows, you cannot undo it. Respecting her intelligence is not about flattery. It's not about empty compliments. It's about recognition. It's about treating her perspective as equal. It's about acknowledging that her thoughts carry weight, that her words matter, that her ideas deserve space. When you do this, you earn something rare, trust. And once a woman trusts you with her mind, she will trust you with her heart. Men who undervalue women's intelligence often lose in silence. They don't realize the damage until it's too late. She may not argue with you. She may not fight to prove herself. She may simply stop giving, stop opening up, stop admiring. She will withdraw quietly, and you will stand there wondering why the fire is gone. The truth? You smothered it the moment you treated her like she was less. Never undervalue her intelligence, because intelligence is the foundation of respect. If you cannot respect her mind, You cannot respect her. And if you cannot respect her, you will never truly have her. You may hold her hand, you may share her time, but you will not hold her loyalty. Loyalty comes from admiration. Admiration comes from respect. And respect begins with honoring her intelligence. Understand this clearly. Women are not impressed by arrogance. They are not drawn to condescension. They are not moved by men who need to feel superior. What impresses a woman is strength without ego, confidence without dismissal, power without the need to control. When a man respects her intelligence, he proves he is secure in his own. And that is the kind of man she will never forget. So discipline yourself. Listen when she speaks. Do not rush to correct. Do not dismiss. Do not act like you know better every time. Recognize her insights, her intuition, her brilliance, because when you value her intelligence, you unlock her admiration. And admiration is the currency of lasting respect. Never undervalue her intelligence, because the man who does will always lose her. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. She will walk away, and she will walk toward a man who sees her not just as beautiful, not just as desirable, but as powerful in mind and spirit. That man will win what you lost. And remember this, strength is not proven by dimming another's light. Strength is proven by standing beside brilliance and not feeling threatened. Only then do you show the world that you are not just a man, but a man of substance. Never make her feel small. The moment you do, you reveal weakness. A man who tears down a woman is not strong. He is fragile. He is desperate for control. Desperate to feel bigger by making someone else feel smaller. But that's not power. That's insecurity disguised as strength. A real man does not need to crush a woman's spirit to prove his own worth. A real man knows his value and adds value to everyone around him. Every word you speak, every action you take has an effect. When you make her feel small with your tone, with your sarcasm, with your indifference, you are chiseling away at trust. You are planting doubt in her heart. And the dangerous part? She may not fight back. She may not argue. She may not even say a word. But she will remember. Every time you belittle, dismiss, or mock her, you are burning a bridge inside her that may never be rebuilt. A man who makes a woman feel small is telling the world that he is already small himself. Because only a man who feels inadequate tries to diminish another. Weak men attack. Weak men belittle. Weak men make jokes at her expense to cover their own emptiness. Strong men, on the other hand, do not need to compete. They do not need to prove superiority by lowering someone else. They know that elevating her does not take away from them. It makes them greater. Think about the impact of your words. A careless insult, a sarcastic remark, a dismissive shrug. These things may seem small in the moment, but they leave deep scars. Women remember how you made them feel, not what you said, not what you gave, but how you made them feel about themselves. If you make her feel less than, you strip away her admiration for you. And once admiration is gone, respect soon follows. Never make her feel small, because a woman who feels diminished will eventually stop giving. She will stop trusting. She will stop admiring you. She may still be there physically, but emotionally she is gone. And once that happens, the relationship is already broken. You cannot lead a woman who no longer looks up to you. You cannot inspire loyalty in someone you have torn down. Real power is lifting, not lowering. A man with true strength builds confidence in the woman beside him. He makes her feel stronger, wiser, more capable. He challenges her, yes, but he does not crush her. He speaks with respect. He listens with patience. He values her presence, her thoughts, her effort. And because of that, she gives him something no other man can take, her trust and her loyalty. Weak men confuse dominance with disrespect. They think that by putting her down, they elevate themselves. But here's the truth. When you make her feel small, you are shrinking your own stature. You are showing her that you are not confident enough to stand beside her strength. And no woman admires a man who fears her power. The strongest men in history, the ones remembered, the ones admired, were not those who silenced others. They were those who inspired them. They gave strength, not shame. They made people feel bigger, not smaller. And that is why they were followed, respected, remembered. If you want to stand out, if you want to be admired, you must do the same. A woman who feels safe and respected around you will give you everything. Her trust, her love, her admiration. But if you make her feel small, she will retreat. She may smile, she may stay, but her spirit will close off. And once that door shuts, it rarely opens again. So control your words. Control your tone. Control the way you treat her in public and even more in private. Because the real test of a man's strength is not how he acts when the world is watching, but how he acts when no one sees. Do you respect her then? Do you make her feel valued then? Or do you strip her down when she is most vulnerable? That answer defines you. Never make her feel small. Instead, make her feel seen. Make her feel valued. Make her feel respected. Not because she needs your validation, but because respect is the currency of every great relationship. The more you give it, the more you receive it back. Remember this, a man's true power is measured not by how many people he can control, but by how many people he can uplift. Make her feel small and you lose her. Make her feel strong and you gain a partner who will stand with you through anything. And in the end, that is what separates boys from men. Boys belittle, men build. Boys weaken, men strengthen. Boys take away, men give. Which one are you? Never play games with her time or emotions. Because once you do, you destroy something sacred, the trust she placed in you. A man who toys with a woman's feelings, who manipulates her heart, who wastes her precious time, is not strong. He is weak. He is selfish. He is short-sighted. Real men do not gamble with the emotions of someone who gives them her presence, her energy, and her trust. Time and emotions are the two things in life you can never get back. Waste them, and you prove you are not worthy of either. A woman knows when she is being played. She may not say it at first. She may stay silent and watch. She may give you space to reveal who you really are. But don't fool yourself, she feels it. She notices the delayed replies, the broken promises, the empty words. She sees the inconsistencies, the little manipulations, the hot and cold behavior meant to keep her chasing. And while you think you are clever, while you think you are in control, what you are really doing is digging your own grave. Because every game you play pulls her further away from respect. And without respect, you have nothing. The strongest men do not need games. They don't play hard to get. They don't lie to gain advantage. They don't manipulate to feel powerful. Weak men do that. Men who lack direction. Men who lack discipline. Men who fear that who they are is not enough. A powerful man knows his worth. He is consistent. He is direct. He does not waste time pretending because he understands that life is short and the woman standing before him deserves honesty. When you waste her time, you are wasting your own. Every moment you string her along is a moment you will never get back. Every lie you tell builds a wall between you, and eventually that wall becomes permanent. Because women don't forget how you made them feel. If you made her feel like she was just a game, she will never see you as a man to be trusted again. She will move on, and she will give her loyalty to someone else. Someone who values her. Someone who doesn't need tricks to hold her attention. Playing games is a sign of fear. Fear that if you showed your real self, you wouldn't be enough. Fear that if you gave honesty, she would walk away. But let me tell you this. A man who fears losing her by being real has already lost. Because sooner or later, the mask slips. And when it does, she will see who you truly are. If that truth is weakness, you're finished. But if that truth is strength, discipline, and integrity, she will admire you forever. A woman's emotions are not toys. They are not weapons to use for your ego. They are treasures, and if she shares them with you, it means she trusts you with something sacred. When you betray that, you are not just hurting her, you are dishonoring yourself. A man who betrays emotions is a man who cannot lead, and if you cannot lead, you will never be respected. The same goes for time. Time is the one thing she can never recover. You may think she will wait forever, that she will tolerate endless delays, excuses, and false promises. But she won't. Every wasted moment plants doubt in her mind. Every broken word chips away at the bond. And the day will come when she realizes she is better off walking away than waiting for a man who plays games. And when that day comes, you lose not just her, but her loyalty, her admiration, and her belief in you. Never play games with her time or emotions, because a man who does proves he is not serious. He proves he is unreliable, and unreliability is the death of respect. Women admire men who stand firm, who are steady, who mean what they say and do what they promise. If you want to stand apart from the weak, the careless, the selfish, be that man. Don't lie, don't manipulate, don't waste time. Be clear, be consistent, be real. Because the truth is, no woman ever forgets the man who respected her time. No woman ever forgets the man who handled her emotions with care, not with games. That man becomes rare. That man becomes irreplaceable. That man earns her loyalty in a way no trick, no manipulation, no game ever could. So discipline yourself. Be honest with your intentions. Be clear with your actions. Respect her time as if it were your own. Protect her emotions as if they were priceless. Because they are. And if you can do that, you won't need to play games to keep her. She will stay because she sees the man you are, reliable, strong, and real. Never forget this: boys play games. Men build trust. Boys waste time. Men invest it. Boys manipulate. Men protect. Which one you choose to be will decide whether you gain her respect or lose it forever. Never compare her to other women. The moment you do, you plant poison in her heart, and the respect she had for you begins to die. A woman is not here to compete with ghosts from your past or with strangers who mean nothing. She is not here to fight for your attention against images on a screen or names from your history. The second you make her feel she's in competition, you fail as a man. Because a real man knows this truth. Comparison kills connection. Every woman carries her own story, her own battles, her own victories. She is unique. She is not meant to be measured against anyone else. When you compare her, you strip her of her individuality. You tell her without words that who she is may not be enough, and that thought is deadly. It lingers. It grows. It destroys the bond of trust and admiration that holds a relationship together. A woman never forgets the moment you compare her. Whether it's subtle or direct, whether you say it as a joke or in anger, it cuts deep. She remembers. And while you may think the words will pass, they don't. They live inside her, replaying in silence, making her question her worth. That wound is not always visible, but it is always felt. And every time she remembers it, her respect for you erodes. Strong men understand this. They know that comparison is not strength, it's weakness. A man who compares reveals his lack of gratitude. He reveals that he cannot appreciate what stands before him. He reveals that he is blind to uniqueness, and blindness to uniqueness is the fastest way to lose her. Weak men compare because they are insecure. They believe that by pointing out flaws, by measuring her against someone else, they gain control. But the truth is the opposite. The moment you compare her, you lose control. Because you show her that your admiration is shallow, fragile, and conditional. You prove that your vision is too narrow to see her for who she truly is. And once she realizes that, she will no longer give you the best of herself. A real man does not need to compare. He knows that the woman beside him is not meant to be a copy of anyone else. She is her own force, her own beauty, her own strength. And when he acknowledges that, when he shows her that she is seen and valued exactly as she is, he gains what no comparison can buy: her unwavering loyalty. Never compare her to other women, because comparison plants insecurity where there should be confidence. A confident woman standing by your side is your greatest asset. She inspires you, fuels you, supports you. But if you make her feel she is less, if you make her doubt her own worth, you turn an ally into a stranger. You break down the very person who would have fought for you when no one else would. And here is the truth. Women are not blind. They see the images you look at, the comments you make, the subtle hints of comparison you drop without thinking. You may believe it doesn't matter, but it does. Because every time you do it, you chip away at her sense of being valued. And once she feels undervalued, once she feels like she is not enough, she will pull away. She may stay physically, but her heart, her admiration, her loyalty, those will vanish. Respect demands focus. Focus on her, not on others. Focus on the woman in front of you, not the women in your past. A man who keeps his eyes wandering, who keeps comparing, is a man who cannot lead himself. And a man who cannot lead himself cannot lead a woman. Discipline means keeping your vision locked on what you have chosen. Weak men always chase what's next. Strong men build what's in front of them. Never compare her, because the day you do, she will begin to wonder why she is with you. She will begin to question whether you truly see her. She will begin to realize that your admiration is not strong enough to last. And once that seed of doubt is planted, it grows. And when it grows, it becomes distance. And when distance becomes permanent, you will have lost her for good. Comparison is not only disrespectful, it is destructive. It tells her she is replaceable, and once she believes she is replaceable, she will stop investing her soul in you. Because why give her everything to a man who sees her as one option among many? So never compare her. Not in words, not in actions, not in silence. Value her as unique. Treat her as rare, because that is what she is. And the man who sees that, who makes her feel like there is no one else like her, becomes unforgettable. Remember this, boys compare, men commit. Boys look around, men focus. Boys weaken their bond with comparison. Men strengthen it with loyalty. Which one are you? Never fail to lead yourself first. Because if you cannot command yourself, you cannot command respect from anyone else, least of all from a woman. Leadership does not start with her. It does not start with the relationship. It starts with you. It starts with discipline. It starts with how you live when no one is watching. If you are a man who cannot master his own impulses, his own words, his own actions, you will never be taken seriously. She may tolerate you, but she will not respect you. And without respect, love dies. A man who fails to lead himself is like a ship without a captain, drifting, unstable, unpredictable. One day he moves left, the next day right, and eventually he sinks. Women sense this instability. They notice when your words and your actions do not match. They notice when you lack purpose, when you lack control, when you are enslaved by habits you cannot break. They may not say it out loud, but inside they are deciding whether you are a man worth following or a man to walk away from. Leadership is not about control over her. It's about control over yourself. Do you wake up with purpose, or do you drift through the day? Do you keep your word, or do you break it the moment it feels inconvenient? Do you hold yourself to a standard, or do you expect more from others than you expect from yourself? These questions define whether you are a man who can lead, or a man who only talks about leading. Never fail to lead yourself first, because every woman tests you, not with tricks, but with her eyes. She watches the choices you make. She observes how you handle pressure, how you handle anger, how you handle disappointment. She notices if you lose control at the smallest frustration, if you lash out instead of staying calm, if you crumble instead of standing firm. And in those moments, she decides, is this a man I can trust? Is this a man I can respect? A man who cannot lead himself cannot protect anyone. How can you protect her peace if you cannot protect your own discipline? How can you guide her if you are lost yourself? How can you be strong for her if you are weak when no one is around? The truth is, she doesn't just need your affection. She needs your stability. She needs to know that when the storm comes, you don't run, you stand. Weak men think leadership is about power over others. Strong men know leadership is about power over self. The one who controls his impulses, his habits, his mind, that man commands respect without asking for it. The one who lacks control, who gives in to temptation, who cannot discipline his own life, that man loses respect, no matter how loud he talks. And here's the reality, if you don't lead yourself, someone else will. Your emotions will lead you. Your desires will lead you. Your weakness will lead you. And when that happens, you become a slave to anger, a slave to lust, a slave to laziness. And no woman respects a man who is enslaved by his own lack of discipline. Never fail to lead yourself first, because the example you set is the foundation of every relationship you build. If you want her to respect you, show her you respect yourself. If you want her to trust you, show her you can trust yourself with your own word. If you want her loyalty, prove that you are loyal to your own principles, even when it costs you. That is leadership. And do not mistake leadership for perfection. You will fall. You will make mistakes. But leadership means owning them, learning from them, and never repeating them. It means holding yourself accountable before anyone else has to. It means refusing to lower your standards, even when it's easier to give in. That is what separates the men who inspire respect from the men who only demand it. A woman does not want a perfect man. She wants a man who is consistent, a man who disciplines himself, a man who lives by a code and does not betray it. Because that man gives her what no words ever could: certainty. She can lean on him, she can trust him, she can follow him, not because he asked, but because he earned it. So look at yourself honestly. Do you lead yourself, or are you led by weakness? Do you wake with purpose, or do you waste your days? Do you keep your word, or do you excuse your failures? The answer to these questions is the truth about your strength. Never fail to lead yourself first, because if you cannot guide your own path, you cannot guide hers. If you cannot control yourself, you cannot protect her. If you cannot live by discipline, you cannot inspire respect. And respect is the currency of every bond. Lose it and you lose everything. Remember this, boys want to control others. Men control themselves. Boys demand respect. Men earn it. Boys talk about leadership. Men live it. Which one are you? Never ignore her effort. Because when you ignore her effort, you are not just dismissing what she does, you are dismissing who she is. Effort is love in action. It is sacrifice turned into reality. Every small thing she does for you, every silent act of care, every detail she pays attention to is her way of saying, you matter to me. And when a man overlooks this, when he acts blind to the work she puts in, he communicates one brutal truth. She is not valued. Nothing destroys a woman's heart faster than that. Understand this, effort is energy. Energy is life. If she is investing her life force into you, into the relationship, into your vision, it means she believes in you. And belief is not cheap. It is costly. She could have saved her energy for herself. She could have walked away and poured it into her own growth. But she chose you. She chose to give her effort to build something with you. And if you fail to see it, fail to acknowledge it, fail to appreciate it, you teach her that her effort is wasted. And when effort feels wasted, it dies. Once it dies, so does the relationship. Men often make the mistake of thinking big gestures matter more than small ones. They think they need to wait for anniversaries, birthdays, or milestones to show appreciation. But women don't live for only those moments. They notice the little things, the details. Did you thank her when she went out of her way to support you? Did you notice when she stayed up late so you could rest? Did you acknowledge the time she put into preparing something, even if it seemed ordinary? That is where love lives. That is where respect breathes. If you ignore her effort, you send a silent message that what she gives isn't enough. And when a woman feels like nothing she does is ever enough, she stops giving. And when she stops giving, the connection begins to starve. No relationship survives starvation. No bond can endure neglect. The strongest men are not those who demand more, but those who appreciate deeply what is already given. The greatest leaders are not those who take endlessly, but those who recognize contribution and honor it. A man who sees her effort and says, I notice, I value it, I appreciate you, becomes a man she will move mountains for. Not because he asked, but because she feels her sacrifices are seen and treasured. Ask yourself, when was the last time you looked her in the eyes and thanked her? Not just for the obvious things, but for the quiet, invisible work she does? When was the last time you said, I see how hard you try? That sentence alone can recharge her spirit. It can reignite her energy. It can turn exhaustion into motivation. Ignoring effort is weakness. Appreciating effort is strength. And it costs nothing to give gratitude, yet it gives everything in return. A man who ignores her effort loses her respect. But a man who cherishes it earns her loyalty, her devotion, and her endless trust. Never forget, effort unacknowledged becomes effort withdrawn, and when she withdraws, she does not come back the same. If you cannot see her value while she gives, don't expect her to stay when she stops. So remember this, never ignore her effort. Respect it, recognize it, speak on it. Because the man who notices her effort keeps her heart alive, and the man who ignores it digs his own grave in silence. Never stop earning her respect, because the day you stop trying, the day you get too comfortable, the day you believe she will love you no matter what you do, is the day you begin to lose her. Respect is not something you win once and keep forever. It is something you earn daily through your actions, your discipline, your character, and your consistency. A woman may fall in love with your charm, your words, or your appearance, but she stays for your respect. She stays for the man you prove yourself to be, not once, not twice, but every single day. Too many men make the mistake of believing that love alone will hold a relationship together. But here is the truth. Love without respect is fragile. It crumbles under the weight of disappointment, dishonesty, and weakness. A woman cannot admire a man who doesn't hold himself to a standard. She cannot look up to a man who talks big but lives small. And she will never give her soul fully to a man who stopped trying the moment he had her, because respect is not about the past. It is about the present and the future. Who you are today, who you are becoming tomorrow, that is what earns her respect. Respect is built in the little things, in how you speak to her when you are angry, in how you treat her when no one is watching, in how you chase your goals even when no one believes in you, in how you carry yourself when life knocks you down. She is always watching, not to criticize, but to see if the man she chose is truly the man she can follow, admire, and trust. Respect is not bought with gifts, money, or promises. It is built with consistency, integrity, and effort. Never stop earning her respect, because the moment you relax, she feels it. She notices when you stop chasing excellence. She feels it when your words no longer match your actions. She sees it when you no longer fight for your growth, your goals, or your values. And slowly, the man she once admired turns into a man she tolerates. And when a woman shifts from admiration to tolerance, love begins to wither. Because love without respect becomes pity. And pity is the death of attraction. A man who never stops earning respect is a man who never stops growing. He sharpens his mind. He strengthens his character. He keeps his promises. He learns to control his emotions. He does not demand loyalty. He inspires it. He does not beg for love. He earns it. This is the kind of man a woman cannot ignore. This is the kind of man she brags about. This is the kind of man she looks at and says, "That's my man." And remember this, respect is not about perfection. It is about effort. It is about showing up even when it's hard. It is about admitting mistakes and correcting them. It is about standing firm on your values, even when the world tries to shake you. It is about being the same man in private that you appear to be in public. Because hypocrisy kills respect faster than anything. If you want her to keep admiring you, then be real. Be consistent. Be someone she can count on when life gets heavy. Never stop earning her respect, because respect is the foundation of love, trust, and loyalty. When a woman respects you, she gives you her full heart. She supports you when you're weak. She believes in you when you doubt yourself. She follows you without fear, because she knows the man leading her is strong, steady, and true. But when that respect fades, nothing else can replace it. Not gifts, not apologies, not words. Once it is gone, the love is already halfway gone too. So wake up every day with this mindset. You don't just have her love. You must keep earning her respect. You don't just win her once, you must win her always. Be the man she can trust, admire, and believe in. Because when you never stop earning her respect, she will never stop giving you her love. A man is not defined by what he says, but by what he refuses to do. If you take one thing from this, let it be this. Respect is not given. It is earned, and it is maintained through discipline, honor, and truth. Never disrespect her boundaries. Never undervalue her intelligence. Never make her feel small. Never play games with her time or emotions. Never compare her to others. Never fail to lead yourself. Never ignore her effort. And above all, never stop earning her respect. These are not suggestions. These are the standards. You do not rise by lowering others. You rise